Hello and welcome to the Screen Chronicles. I'm Colby, and with me as always is Steve. Might be Polish, might be Russian, might be German, Kuzic.
We don't know.
We don't know what he is.
We don't know.
But he's definitely not Irish. And and today we're coming at you with a review of episode 9 of WandaVision. But before we do that, we're just going to have a overall talk of what we thought of the first season, maybe the only season, of WandaVision on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So brief non-spoiler talk. It's going to be pretty quick. And then we're going to get into our normal spoiler talk about the episode and some more thoughts. So if you haven't seen the show, you can listen to it here a little bit at the beginning here if you want to decide whether you want to watch or not. But then on, it's going to be all spoiler stuff here. So let's get into it. So we just saw the last episode of WandaVision. I liked it. I liked as a show. I recommend watching. If you're a Marvel fan, I think you should. I really like what they did with the character of Wanda and Vision. I thought they really helped flesh out Wanda more in this. She's definitely not I don't want to say definitely. She's not my favorite superhero from the MCU, but I definitely like her a lot, and she's definitely like up there as far as like superheroes who have like kind of earned their place. She's always been cool. I've always thought she was cool. She was never someone though I was like, man, I can't wait to see what WandaVision or what Wanda does in this next Avengers or Captain America or whatever. I always thought she was cool. But this one here, I was just like, man, I'm excited to see what she does in future stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really dove into the depths of, who Wanda was even before the show and before the Avengers. So learned a lot about her. I just love the show overall. And what I love most about this show, and it's definitely recommended for hardcore Marvel fans, definitely, is that all of the little intricacies that it brought forth, whether that be Easter eggs that are just kind of fun for the fans to see, or whether that be lines from the very first episode that really meant something that just went right over your head at first, that really had another underlying meaning. And just the thing I think I liked most about it was the way you could form your own theories week to week. I think we mentioned before that this was a great show to have weekly releases with compared to binging, because it really gave you time to come up with different theories about what you thought is going to happen or what you thought is happening in the show. So I'm very happy. I did not expect to like WandaVision as much as I did. And I got to say, I really loved watching. I'm going to miss being as excited for it every week. Every Friday, I was just, couldn't wait to get home from work and watch it.
Same. Yeah, it was definitely something I was really into. Like I said, I watched the first two, if you have listened to one of our talks before, and I was ready to give it up. And then third episode, though, you're like, come on, you got to watch this one. And I think my brothers were too. So I was like, all right, enough people are telling me, I'll get back into it. And I'm really glad I did. It was definitely a lot of twists and theories that you could come up with, a lot of different things. It really misled you. It was really good writing throughout
Very
the
good
show.
writing.
I'd really give the credits to Marvel and their team, the producers, writers, directors.
The attention to detail was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, this one was so well connected. I still have a few questions that we'll get into here.
Sure.
About that I don't think that they answered, that I thought were going to get answered in this last one. But generally, as a whole show, I liked it. And I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I was going to give it an 8.5. Okay.
All right. Nice. Screen Chronicles 8.5.
Yeah, definitely an awesome show. Highly recommend.
Yes.
I think that if you haven't seen the Marvel movies, it might be a little bit confusing, and a lot of things, it'd be a lot harder to follow what's going on. So I will say that. I don't necessarily think it's for anybody. I think if you went in without seeing any Marvel movies, it would be really hard to follow.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I think you would definitely be confused. I would definitely at least watch Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America, Civil War,
and all the Infinity War and Endgame.
Yes. Because those are the big ones where Wanda is in.
Right.
Vision. So
to watch those movies, you should watch Iron Man, Captain America,
Thor 1, 2,
Thor,
3.
right. Avengers 1,
Avengers 1.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
The whole X-Men series you're going to need to watch.
Well, maybe not anymore.
Maybe not
anymore. After this episode 9, which, are you ready to dive into it with some
Let's
spoiler warnings?
Spoiler alert, everyone. If you haven't seen the show, you know now what we think. Go watch it. Now let's get into the episode here. Final episode. It's even called the series finale.
Yeah, which is cool. Every episode has had a cool like show title.
Mhm.
The one before this was Previously On, and the whole episode was about her past and watching reruns of her past, and just all like TV phrases have been the name of the episodes. And so this one was, season finale.
Well, series finale.
Or series finale.
Yes.
Which is like
end of the show then is what it would sound like to me. Like there wouldn't be another season. And I hope there's not because I didn't love the show.
Right.
But I want it to be original is the thing.
Agreed.
I don't want them to have to force another show and like, all right, how are we going to surprise people this time? With this season, we're going to make this big twist, this one. And when you are working then just to make twists instead of having a good story that you can work twists in through, then it's just it's not any substance then. It's just twists.
Right. When I think this had substance, I really do.
Yes, that's the thing that made it juicy. Like we said, there's all the Easter eggs, the big twist. You're like, where did that come from? But they all meant something. They all meant something to the story. They all meant something to the character or whatever it is.
And so again, it starts with the previously on WandaVision. And it's cool how it got progressively sadder and sadder over time. And it starts with Agnes choking the kids. It starts like immediately where the last episode ended. Mm-hmm. And Wanda's trying to figure out what to do in this situation. So
she's like, well, I can use magic now, bitch.
Yeah, didn't think about that. But then Agnes is all like, that's what I want. And we come to find out, if you remember back to Agnes's flashback in the previous episode, she was like absorbing. I don't think I picked up on this at first.
Mm-mm.
I thought she was just using a spell to make her enemies old.
Yeah.
She was like absorbing.
I thought she was just sending like negative energy back down the pipes. Yeah. Is basically what I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was like putting like the pipe on super
in reverse. Yeah. And to suck out like not only their power, but apparently their life force as well. Right.
Yeah.
And so she even did it to her own mother. And so that's what she wants Wanda to do. She's like, yeah, use your power now so I can just drain it all up. And then I'm going to be the most powerful witch in the world. Yep.
So that's what, too, in the previous episode, I thought she could potentially not be the bad guy because she came there to check out what was going on. And then she was trying to wake Wanda up. And then at the end, she reveals that Wanda is this Scarlet Witch who is a big baddie through the witch lore. Is what we found. So, or a really powerful witch at the very least that could be bad. So
according
I was
to the Darkhold, which we have revealed later in the episode as well.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe Agnes or Agatha is not a baddie, but then in this I was like, all right, so she wants power, so she's definitely a baddie then.
So she's a baddie. Yeah, I agree. I thought it was like, oh, is she just trying to? She heard about the Scarlet Witch because she said that line in the previous episode, like, you don't know how dangerous you are, Like maybe she was trying to prevent something from happening because the Scarlet Witch, which we found out in this episode, is apparently supposed to cause the end of the world or something, or the destruction of the world.
Yeah, there's a very like Phoenix from the X-Men sort of prophecy going on here where it's like you will destroy, you're more powerful than the supreme sorcerer and you will cause the end of the world.
Who's the supreme sorcerer, by the way?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as Sherlock, though.
Sherlock Holmes.
Not as Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Oh, so we're using our made-up names? Yeah, so why would they even call Doctor Strange a supreme sorcerer if he's not the supreme powerful magic person, right? You need to change that title, like Vice President of the Sorcering Committee, Like we need clear roles. If you want a company to run smoothly, we need clear roles.
CEO.
a
acting
hierarchy
CEO.
of
Exactly.
magic shit.
What's
And,
Wong then?
But Wong would
Yeah.
be assistant to
Assistant to
the vice
general
president
manager.
of the
Not assistant vice president.
no
Assistant to
assistant
the vice president.
to yes. Very Dwighty.
Yes. So anyway, Agnes like lets the kids go, right?
Yeah.
And Wanda's like, go to your rooms. And I'm like, oh shit, things about to get real. Because she had like Kamehameha'd her real quick. Remember that?
Yeah.
She did that. And then Agnes does this like off the ground, like rise, which was like creepy as hell.
Yes. And then she hits her with a car.
That was pretty nuts.
That was pretty nuts. She was like, all right, fine, I won't touch you with the magic then. Car. And
right, because so she had touched her with the Magnus, and Agnes was just like, yes.
Yeah. And her hand turns old Dumbledore black from like touching the Horcrux.
Right. That's a good analogy. Good. So yeah, Wanda's realizing like, wow, she is draining my power. And I'm gonna hit her with a car. Yeah, because that never fails. Never fails. And she goes to the car where the wreckage is, and there's two boots, and it instantly reminded me of Wizard of Oz.
It was like, definitely what it was. That was definitely what it was. It had to be a Wizard of Oz. It was a Wicked Witch, right?
A Wicked Witch,
and it like was shriveled up under the car. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was like even in the same orientation as they were in the Wizard of Oz.
Did
like
Wanda get
direction.
it? Did Wanda get the reference? I wonder.
I know.
Was she just like, this is so...
No, she was too busy watching sitcoms. She didn't have any time for some quality film, some classic films.
Cinema.
Those cost extra in Sokovia.
Also then, actually, she backs away then from this. And then all of a sudden, the pure white Vision comes out. And he's just like...
And she's like, Vision, you hit the gym? What is...
You looking slick, too?
Do something to your hair.
Are you the Easter version of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup here?
So,
and she's like, "Ooh, Vision, that's you. That's your body." And he's like, "Yeah, it is." Let me just squeeze your
Wanda. But he, oh my God, this was like a moment that was crazy because he goes, Wanda, and you can't really tell.
Yeah, it was like possibly like a sexy British voice, but possibly also like a murder you British voice.
Right. And he puts his hands around her head, possibly like a soft caress of the head, British style.
Or a greeting.
Murderous, skull crushing
British greeting.
British greeting. You couldn't tell. You really couldn't tell. And
cultural differences,
exactly.
It's tough.
Exactly. But then he just starts going all mountain on her. The mountain. And this is like giving me
fake Vision
anxiety.
comes.
This is giving me an anxiety real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this one, he starts like tightening and like, I don't know if you could hear something, but like she starts freaking out.
Yeah.
My jaw was on the floor. I was like, holy crap. And I think, what does he say? Like, objective to eliminate Wanda Maximoff or something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's basically being controlled, obviously, by S.H.I.E.L.D. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
And, right. Who comes to save the day?
Fake Vision.
Who remembered last episode, no, not last episode, the previous one, that he could fly. From that interview. And, he like tackles him into a Winnebago or something.
And then it turns into a magic fight and a Vision fight. It's really cool too. Wanda's like, this is our home, Vision, or something like that. And he's like, well, let's fight for this shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And the awesome. Vision fighting in this too, I normally don't like the CGI fights, but it was pretty sweet because they were like, they were both like
shifting.
And they're both like perfect too, because they're like the machine. So like they're not like no one's like really like hitting the next person and like not having another response. It's like they're not missing a beat, So it was kind of cool.
And I think too the new Vision, shiny white Vision, new and improved. I think he was still learning a little bit of what he could do. I think he was still
Why did
learning
you say
a
that?
little
Just because like he's new, or
bit. I just think he was like he wasn't phase shifting at first. He seemed a little surprised when like fake vision phase shifted and his fist got stuck in him. It was just really freaking cool. And then later the vision phase shifted, the new vision, and like made fake vision fly through him. So I don't know. I felt like he was kind of learning too what he could do.
yeah.
And I love the fight. By the way, we had a lot of flying in this episode, whether it was Vision or Wanda or Agnes or Real Vision. And I got to say, like, Wonder Woman 1984, take some freaking notes because, like, it looked so good.
It looked way better than a movie did. Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
There was definitely a couple of times. I mean, I was just like, oh, really quick, but the thing is they did it well, though. You know what I mean? It was really quick. I was just like, it looks a little wonky. It looks definitely like a CGI body there. But then next thing you know, something else is happening.
Yeah.
So it was pretty quick. But as far as I wasn't super invested in the whole the fighting going on, it almost felt more like the third act of like a normal Marvel movie for me.
Right.
Like the ending of that where the superheroes finally have to fight the bad guy, which was cool. Like I said, like it was fun to watch, but I was really hoping for something like crazy to happen, like some big reveal, her having to make some big choice between the two visions or whatever.
So get this too. Apparently, Paul Bettany in an interview before this final episode came out said there's going to be a cameo.
Yeah.
Like he's like one of his favorite cameo appearances, and guess who he was talking about?
Himself. He's like, I get to work with an actor that I've long wanted to work with or something like that. And everyone was speculating, who is it? Is it going to be this person? Is it going to be Mr. Fantastic? Is it going to be this person? And we had also seen, too, that I think Disney had released, there's going to be a Luke Skywalker level cameo in WandaVision. And we were all just like, what? That never happened. Like, I can't think of anything that even came close to Luke Skywalker. Not even close.
I thought it was going to be Doctor Strange was going to be the cameo, and I thought it might be in the end credit scene. I thought for sure it was going to be that last end credit scene, to be honest. I thought she is going to be with Doctor Strange, learning from the Supreme Sorcerer about her powers.
Yeah.
But that is not what happened. So anyway.
Because it's supposed to tie into that. It's supposed to tie into the multiverse of madness.
Yeah. Hasn't it been announced like that Wanda will be returning in Multiverse of Madness? There was an Instagram post. It's not confirmed. I didn't see it, but I saw it on an Instagram post. So but I've heard that for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and this was filmed a long time ago too.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ago, I think, the show.
Yeah. I imagine so, because the post in this kind of show must have been unreal. Yeah. So much CGI, but also fantastic filming and acting. So what happens next is Wanda goes to the town center, right? Mm-hmm. Where Agnes is up. She introduces the Darkhold, like, check it out. You're in this book. This is you, bitch. This is you. And you.
And Wanda's like, I'm not even a witch. Like, right. I just got powers I was experimenting on. She's like, no, you a witch, bitch. And Wanda's like, no, you the bitch. But anyway, though, yeah, she's like explaining everything to her about the book and all this stuff, and then she ends up like untethering the minds of the people in there. Yeah, one by one, Agnes. And at first it's Dottie, whose real name is Sarah, I think. Yeah. And she comes over to her and she's like, can I just see my kid, or can I tell my husband not to come here or something like that so he doesn't get trapped? And Wanda's like, calm down, everything's gonna be okay. And it's just everyone coming up. And I think that's something too, that I don't know if a lot of people think about. We get to see Wanda's side, and it all makes sense why she did what she did. But she's a villain in this show. I mean, again, she didn't mean to do it. I don't think she ever consciously would have gone and enslaved people's minds. But But at some point, she
But
realized it, right?
it was bad. It was bad at some point, and she didn't immediately stop. So that's
Yeah.
for sure.
She even expanded it at
She's
one
in the
point.
wrong, right? And again, let's just try to reiterate her point of view. Like, she was in so much despair. She explodes the emotions, and all of a sudden, she has everything she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And she's happy for like the first time in a couple weeks. And no, she's she's happy
really
after like the darkest, after the darkest moments of her life. And
she's had a rough life.
It's been filled with them. It's been filled with them
since she was a kid, growing up in a war zone. Parents died.
Losing your parents so young.
Bomb get to be experimented on. Then you have to have your brother die. And
you have to become the most powerful being in the universe. Sucks. No, but she has had a traumatic life for sure.
Yeah.
And we really kind of got to learn more about it in this show. But so just to kind of her point of view again, she didn't mean to enslave all these people, but once she figured out that she was, whether it was Vision who kind of revealed it to her, or whenever she realized what she was doing, she probably should have stopped.
Yeah, and that's what, I mean, she could have kept this fictional world going, right? But she could have just let everyone go at some point. That's one thing she could have done if she wanted to keep her vision and her kids and things like that. She could have just let everyone go and maybe even just said, hey, like, I've got this cool world where if you come in, you just have to go through the plot of a sitcom, you know? Like, and how many people who do have shitty lives wouldn't sign up for that, right? Like,
I'm in there. Let's go. I'm just kidding. But
I'm just saying, there could have been some better ways to do this. And she's, at the end of the day, she is the villain. All these people aren't getting to see their families. They can't go see their kids or their significant others or anything because they're trapped in and they're running through doing whatever she wants them to do, right?
Yeah.
They have to do different jobs and that they had gone to school for their whole life. They're, doing all this crazy stuff. So at the end of the day, I empathize with her. I do. And I think she's cool. And I think if I was her and I had superpowers and I could make a whole different reality, I probably would have accidentally done it too. But
but she should have let him go.
Mine would have been like the Last Kingdom, though. My world.
Oh, totally. Except it would have been Last Kingdom with showers and
yes,
with showers and like doctors' offices and stuff.
Yeah, and like stuff to make sure you're not getting STDs and things
exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
That
but a full harem, and
but it's a full.
No, but so Wanda
is bad guy.
She's being confronted by Dottie, and Dottie is pleading like for her. It's Sarah, I think is her real name, but she's pleading for her real kid's life. When she is in the room, she's like, "Please let her go. Like whatever you want to do, just let my kid go." And all of a sudden, Agnes starts turning everybody's brainwash off, and they all just like swarm Wanda. And it was very similar, to the Last Kingdom scene with Edward getting talked to by everybody, except by a lot more people. So the whole town is like talking to Wanda, like, please let us go, help my family, all this stuff. And it's just all becoming muddled and she's getting overwhelmed. And she then does another accident. She accidentally chokes them all.
She goes full Anakin on Mustafar on Padme here. Just oopsie.
Yeah. She's like, oops. And then she, Agnes has a line. It's like,
you are evil. Look at that. You're choking people.
Yeah. What does Agnes say there? She has a good line. Oh, heroes don't make other people suffer.
That's right. Like that. Heroes don't hurt innocents or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, Wanda ends up turning it off, but then she's like, holy crap, I suck.
Yeah.
And
holy crap, I suck.
And
she starts opening the doors up a little bit here to Wanda World. And Director Asshole is out there and he's just like, going in.
This is our chance. Let's go in there and F some S up.
S up.
Yep. And So they start going in, and Jimmy Woo, by the way, had gotten arrested and picked his lock and called the FBI to get there in an hour, which he had bluffed earlier to Hayward. Anyway, so the FBI is on the way, and the FBI gets there just as everybody left, which I thought was funny. I was like, okay.
One of the things in this show that I was kind of waiting to see was, is he someone else? Because as we had talked about in our other episodes, hexagons in his diplomas or his certificates or whatever in his room. We talked about how the hexagon is like the theme of this show, where it's a lot of background stuff. That it seems likely that it's like the building block of like this universe in the MCU, the hexagon, with the space travel, how that's like their hyperspace. We've seen it in Doctor Strange briefly. It's all through this show. I was thinking he was probably someone higher up, right? Like he had some other thing besides just making an evil vision going on here. But that's really all he had by the end of the episode.
There's a point later on when he has his military guys like shooting at the family and at the kids and stuff, and he's like, hold on, and he like steps out of the car, and I was like, here we go, he's gonna turn into like a giant devil or something. And he just pulls out a gun and tries to shooting him, and I'm like, why? You have a bunch of guys with like automatic rifles, and you pull out like a handgun, and like
this'll do it.
Anyway.
But so anyway, I thought he was going to be something more evil because he's just been an asshole.
He's not dead yet.
He's not dead, but
so...
he also wasn't very evil, though. You know what I mean? Like he gets arrested at the end, but what did he do? He was working on freeing the people inside, who I'm sure are going to be happy about that they were freed and that he was working on freeing them.
Right.
The only thing I can think of is he.
What did he want to do with that weapon, though?
Had an evil vision, though. Yeah, what was he going to do with that? So obviously that was
over the world. So.
That was unethical. But so I can
it
see
depends.
why
I guess it depends because it is unethical.
But other than him shooting at the kids, he hasn't done anything. Like he shot at the kids, and I think that's why they had him shoot at the kids, because otherwise he didn't really do anything that wrong. I mean, like Shield has already done a bunch of shady stuff trying to control people and stuff. I mean, they got taken down in Winter Soldier, but then they came back. So I don't know. I think that's why they had him shoot at the kids. But I was just a little disappointed. I was like, where is he going? Why were we getting?
Oh man, I was hoping he was going to be like a really big bad guy or something.
That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for one more big twist with him, and he was just that guy. He was the guy they set him up to be. He was the director asshole.
Or at least maybe have him in cahoots with Agnes or something. Or
that's what I was thinking. Even in cahoots with her.
No. Yeah. So anyway, right, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So anyway, though, like they do come in. She opens the door.
Yeah.
Vision 2 had a really cool scene. Now this is what was pretty cool with the Vision stuff here.
Oh, this was amazing. Yeah.
He has like sort of, if you're a fan of like Star Trek or something, like almost like a Data Logic kind of moment here going on with this guy. It was really cool. He talks about this museum ship sort of how do I want to say? Sort of scientific analogy, I guess.
Yeah, like if the ship is restored with other boards, but it has some of the same boards, is it still the same ship?
Mm-hmm.
And like, so they're having this logic battle back and forth.
Yeah, and it was basically trying to say, because the real Vision,
right,
White Vision here was like, my objective is to kill the Vision, and the Vision is like, but I'm not really the real Vision, bro.
Nah, I'm fake.
And he's like, but
I'm fake as fuck, bro.
Yeah, he was like, I think he was even like, elaborate or something like that to him. Like, I'm gonna need more information.
I request elaboration, he said.
Gonna need some more information here.
And so he breaks out this riddle, this question,
like, analogy, I guess, scientific question, I guess, or just
so if the boat's
philosophical,
and it was restored,
or even if it's being restored,
or if it's being restored, right? But it still has some of the original pieces. Which one's the real boat? Yeah. And the White Vision comes up with the answer like, they're both real. And Fake Vision's like, well, guess what? I don't have any real pieces. So
But he's like, then you think you're real. And he's just like,
yeah.
I did
Yeah, he's like,
until like yesterday, and then I don't.
yeah, until I met you, honestly.
And
And so I totally thought
he's like,
that,
well, what makes you think you're the real one is memory, right?
yeah.
Then he puts a little Vision thumbs on him, and fake Vision gets all of the real Vision memories that were in him. And
Yeah.
he's like, I am the Vision, and flies away.
You know, they put some kind of firewall with real Vision that he can't access his memories, you know, that way he doesn't have attachment to Wanda. So anyway, he touches the forehead. He makes it yellow when he touches it, which is cool, like Mind Stone color.
Yep.
A gold color. And we get to see like a really quick montage of all these movies. And Real Vision's like, oh my God, I didn't even see Iron Man. Like, I got to go back and start from the beginning. Like, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. No, but he sees the montage, and all of a sudden now I totally thought once he like realized like fake Vision convinced him that he was the real Vision, that he was just going to self-destruct himself.
That's what I thought.
But
too.
he also gained like his sentience back. You know, he gained his self-control because he's like, so they're controlling me to do something that they, you know, that they want or something. He's like, I'm being used. I can't remember the line, but he like makes the realization. He's like, I'm being controlled. And then he just flies away. And I thought he was going to go up in the air and explode or something, or start ripping his own head off. And
yeah, I thought that's what it was going to lead to, was like him, self-destructing or killing himself, like convincing him, you're the real Vision. Why don't you kill yourself? Just.
And
it was really cool. I really liked that though. It was
awesome moment.
Because, like I said, I was a little disappointed that we ended up getting like a fight, but at the same time, I'm glad they had the fight, because
fight was awesome.
You can't have two Visions and not have them fight, right? Like,
I mean, that's
I think I talked about one of our other episodes. You don't see Vision fight in the battle in Civil War. Like, you see him come up to the charge. He shoots a laser beam. I think the Falcon. I think he like dodges it. And that's the last time you see him until at the very end. He like runs into. By the time Ant-Man is big at this point, he like just jumps into him, knocks him down, or like phases through him, and then collapses the airport.
Which was awesome, but
but the whole fight, he was MIA, because he would have been phasing through, ripping off people's fucking heads.
It'd have been easy. You know,
he could have took them all down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at this point, Wanda could have took the other team down,
right?
But she wasn't that powerful at that point.
Okay. Yeah. So we have this awesome Vision moment that was philosophical, and big shout out to Paul Bettany, because so much of his dialogue and the way he just sounds like a cold, unassuming robot is amazing. No,
you're really good at just not having any human
having any feeling. No, I'm just kidding. No, he does though. For
he does have
Vision.
like emotion.
It's amazing,
but it's also robotic.
Amazing. Like it is robotic, yeah, and but
there's still like feeling behind it. There's still like an intellectual sort of like.
Yeah, but he's just so eloquent with what he says.
Yeah.
And it plays so well on screen, especially when he's talking to himself. You know what I mean? And awesome moment. So anyway, we don't see that White Vision again.
Nope, he leaves.
I thought for sure he was going to come help fight Agnes with Wanda. I thought he was going to have that realization, and they were going to.
And so that leaves happen. Open the possibility that Vision is always going to come back, right?
Maybe.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves.
He's got to go figure some stuff out. He's got some personal issues now.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go on some soul searching here. Maybe go to Wakanda.
I was going to say that. Go to Wakanda, and
maybe they'll fix him up, right?
But then he'll never
another
fight
white
with
boy
his
we have
again. And he'll be just super tame and not cool anymore.
Not do anything anymore now.
Yeah. So anyway,
Wakanda, fix him right. Fix him right.
I know. So Wanda, meanwhile, is back, and she had opened the gates, but her son with the telepathic ability he saw like the future, and they had gone to the town square to help her. And so had other Vision, fake Vision, right? And it was like, this is the Incredibles.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And they all get there, right? And at first, when she's like collapsing the world down, they all start to crumble. And it was kind of like
Yeah,
a
yeah. So
sad.
Vision
And you see, like, she was like initially like, I'm going to take it all down now. And then she sees like her kids and her hubby
can't do it.
here getting destroyed. And she's like, closing this back up. Like, no way. Like,
I've already murdered my husband once.
damn. And yeah. She's killed Vision twice now, man.
Oh my God.
Some girls just leave guys on red.
Yeah. Not Wanda. Some girls create a whole alternate reality and bring you back to life and then clap your ass back to non-existence. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
But she does. She's like, all right, I'm gonna fix the cracks in this egg here. They come back and then they pose like the Incredibles when
it's awesome.
When the army shows up.
Yeah.
There. So
and we might be jumping around a little bit.
We might have jumped around here a little bit. Vision might then go leave again to fight Vision.
That's when he goes and fight Vision, and then they have the moment.
Yeah, then they have the moment. But
Wanda goes to fight Agnes, and she's like, "Kids, take care of the military," which is an awesome line.
That's right. Kids take care of the military. And that's like what I said. Then the kids were dealing with the military, and Doctor. Why do I keep calling him Doctor? Director asshole.
Hayward. Right.
Comes out, right. and that's when that whole thing happens. They like freeze the kid uses with his telepathic powers, freezes the guards, the main henchmen with the weapons. So maybe that's why
I think the fast one went through and like took the guns away real quick.
Yeah, he like froze them, and then the other one took the guns. And I like the kids too, by the way. I like the kids.
Cool.
Normally, I don't like kids in shows, but I have to say I like these ones. I thought they were like fun, and I thought they did their parts well.
Yeah, I did too, and
they weren't annoying.
They weren't annoying, and
I liked them.
What happens is Director Hayward gets out of the truck, and instead of turning into the devil, he pulls out a gun and tries to shoot the kids. And guess who steps in front? Monica Rambeau.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And Monica Rambeau just like turns into gelatin, and the bullets like pass through her. It's pretty cool. And they just like slow down and like drop out the other side. Except she like totally misses one and it goes over her shoulder. She's like, oh my God, this is so cool. And like stops paying attention. And one goes over her shoulder. But the dude, I don't remember which one it is. Is it Johnny or
Johnny or Billy? The one who's
the one with telepathic ability. So he's pretty much his mom, because he stops it in midair just like his mom would with her glowy hands. And it's pretty sweet. Pretty
She's
sweet
like,
moment.
nice job, kid. You didn't die.
And then so instead of turning into the devil and smashing them all with his powerful satanic might, he gets back into his car and hits reverse and tries to get the heck out of there.
And then Darcy luckily just knew this was all going down at the middle square here and was just like, wham! And
with her
carnival car.
But remember, this is kind of cool. So at first I was thinking, how could a carnival car take down like a armored, was it like a SUV or something?
Yeah.
But then I remembered, like whatever the thing is made out of, it just looks different.
That's right.
Like all of Monica's
clothes stayed bulletproof.
Clothes were still bulletproof from before. So that material that hit that was like a giant tank, pretty much. I don't think it was a tank, but it was like a giant.
It was another one of the
monster
sword vehicles, though.
Sword vehicles that was bigger than that one. So it makes sense that it would
that's a good point.
Destroy that one. So Darcy comes through there, and so I guess I don't know what's going to happen with Hayward. He was arrested at the end. We don't really see anything else, but so maybe he'll come back and turn into the devil later.
Wasn't that bad? he might. Like I said, that's one of the things I was like, why was he set up with all the hexagons? And it seemed like he knew more when he was talking to Wanda when she showed up. Maybe he was just trying to egg her on, like what you said, to just power up Vision. Yeah. But at the time, I was just like, that motherfucker knows some shit. He knows some magic shit.
I love to, after this happened, Wanda is starting. She's like, okay, it's go time against Agnes now, right?
Mm.
And she totally goes stealth mode, like Assassin's Creed or Shadow of Mordor style. And I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, that
And,
was sick when she comes up to her and she does that thing that like she did like the Tony Stark the first time.
Stealth mode, yeah.
That was sweet. I was
like
so
that camera angle from like you see her coming up from behind. It was so cool.
And just drips the red magic into her eyes.
And we go back to Salem.
Back to Salem. By the way, we'll be in Salem.
By the way, we're going to be in Salem on July 24th to 25th for all you Marvel fans that might also be Last Kingdom fans.
Yeah, be there or be square.
Be there or
we'll make the square.
We'll make the square while you're there.
Make the square while you're there. There hopefully won't be any witch burnings.
There will be. Yes, we're going to dispense with the need for the witch burnings.
No promises. But she goes back to Salem.
And oh my God, I did not expect this to backfire.
Yeah. It backfired.
So bad.
She was just like, I was like, oh, she's got her here. This is how she wins.
Yeah.
It's like an intellectual magic way. It's not going to just be by blasting her. And I'm just like, nice and cool. And then all of a sudden, like all the corpses start rising.
Did Wanda start rising them up for revenge? I thought she did. Did she like?
I can't remember. I think it will at least seem like that's what she was doing. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think that was at least her intention, though, was to go there.
That backfired.
Those guys kill her.
Yeah.
And then.
But they all immediately recognize Wanda as the Scarlet Witch. And remember, all them old-fashioned textbook witches, they recognize the Scarlet Witch as a huge threat to society.
Yep.
So it's like, damn, backfired.
And she's like, oh no, no, get her.
No. And Agnes is just like, what's up? And this is when, how does she get out of that? How does she get out of Salem?
No idea how she gets out of this.
Anyway, they get back to.
I think she turns it off. I think she just.
Yeah, turns it off. She magics it off, and she's doing some cool sneaky stuff again. And they're up in the air. Agnes is just like, you lose. Like, just keep hitting me with bolts, and I'm going to get stronger, and there's no way you can beat me. Like, you lose. Yeah.
She just keeps coming more and more of Dumbledore's hand. And
yeah, so she's like, she's so pissed at this point, you know, that she's just like doing it. And she's like, I'm going to kill you. And, you know, she knows she doesn't care.
And it seemed like she was like wanting to get rid of her powers so that she didn't have to have this weight and responsibility on it is what they were making you think too. She's like, I don't want it. You can have it kind of thing.
And I was kind of like, holy crap. No, Wanda. Like,
I was thinking that maybe this is how it ends, you know, sad way.
Tragic.
But then she gets all the power away and she's looking all sad. And then Agnes is like,
looking all, she's dancing a little bit. She's doing a little, she's doing a little dance. She's doing a little magic dance. And I
don't know what that was, people. I'm sorry if you watched that.
And she's looking real evil. And then I'm like, Wanda is looking at her. And she's like slowly turning back from old decrepit skull, burnt flesh to beautiful Wanda. And it was really cool how gradually it happened. You know, like she just kind of like turned her head a little bit, and just very, very cool how it happened. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What's happening?
Breaking the rules here, lady. Oh, I thought she was like sucking her then. She was sucking.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought she was sucking her off, and then, but it was.
I was like, oh,
wait, are we still talking about WandaVision?
Yeah. No. No.
No, but
But apparently, she had just seen runes for the first time earlier that day, and was like, I know how to use those fuckers.
And she moves, you know, so the camera can swipe to see what's behind her. And
they were like, get out of the way, Wanda.
Man. I think a few clouds dispersed, and the wall has runes, baby. It was awesome. Pretty awesome reveal. I like that. Did you like that?
Oh yeah, it was cool. It was just that she had
So-
literally learned about it for the first time that day. She had literally just learned runes. If you're in the circle, you're the only one who can cast the spell then.
She literally just probably copied her homework. She probably remember she like disappeared real quick from Agnes and then reappeared. She probably just like went down to Agnes's thing and just looked at drew it on a piece of paper.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
And then just like threw them up
Okay, yeah.
real quick.
Use
and then
the same one.
everything after that point was just another mirage that Wanda created.
Was it a
Like, all the
mirage,
things
or was it just
I thought.
until her runes took place that then, because Agnes couldn't use her
No, I think-
magic,
I mean,
that they
I'm
went back
saying-
to her?
The thing with shooting everything at Agnes, and blasting her, and Agnes feeling powerful, and
Well-
Wanda looking like a skull. I feel like that was a mirage that Wanda was just like,
think it was
no, I just
mirage?
brainwashed you again.
Or
Well,
do
how
you
could
think?
it not have been?
Well, maybe it was real, is what I'm saying. Maybe she did, and she was losing her powers, but she was also missing a lot though too. Remember?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like just when she was missing, that was the runes, and it wasn't until like I think her very last or second
you
to
think it
last
was the
one
last
she
one?
missed. Yeah, and I'm thinking like it wasn't until those runes were up, and then once they got up,
Oh.
because Agnes couldn't use her magic, that the magic went back to her. Maybe. I mean, it could have been
Oh,
what
I
you
thought
said
it-
too. It could have been.
I thought it was. I guess I interpret it, and I could be wrong again. But as
I could be wrong as well.
Wanda had like had the idea before, gone and done all that crap, and put the runes on the walls in the hexagonal shapes that were conveniently already the shape of everything. I think it's just a magical shape, and
Maybe.
or an elemental shape or something,
Hmm.
and that the whole thing was a falsity that Wanda wanted Agnes to believe or something for a second. But maybe she did while they were fighting create them, but then
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, either way though, that's how she ends up winning.
yeah. But it's pretty awesome, the runes, and it's like, runes, Vikings use runes. And
I know that's the thing
I
though.
was
Like
kinda like
I've seen so many runes in God of War, Vikings, and Last Kingdom, and I don't remember any of them. So like she saw them for the first time. She might just have better memory than I do though. Like that's not a hard thing.
I'm telling you, she just went down to the chamber and looked at him and we're like drew him down real quick on her palm.
Secrets?
Down to
Colby's room.
Agnes's.
They literally went to your place, filmed there, and they're like,
I don't
Come on.
have runes in here. Okay. I have a few no.
just a few runes, not all of them.
We'll cast the runes and we'll see.
We'll see.
That was Russian.
What do you see about the runes in the Viking world, dear? I come to suck your blood.
Now you're Transylvanian.
Not in Transylvanian.
There's a little Dutch in there too.
Not Transylvanian.
Canadian. Canadian. Anyway, so pretty sweet reveal. Wanda used Agnes's own little magic lesson against her.
Uh-huh. And it was cool too because like
And-
the whole fight too looked cool just because all the giant red stuff
Yeah.
going on. And
so this was totally in this game called Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. There's these orc captains that you fight throughout the game, right? And you have a few choices of what to do with them once you beat them in the battle. You can fight to the death, or you can shame them. And Wanda got to that point where she beat the captain, she beat the boss, and she's like, should I just kill her or should I shame her? And she chose shame.
shame.
And it was pretty crazy.
She's like, you get to. She's like, what are you gonna do? Lock me up? And she's like, no, you get to be the character that you started playing. You
role
get to
you
be the
chose,
nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And
Yeah.
like that would suck. Like that is such a mean
Oh
thing
my
to do.
God.
Like I'm gonna
'Cause
mind
again-
control you.
She's gonna be in like the sunken place, so she'll be in the passenger seat seeing all this happen.
Ugh.
I feel like she's coming back. I feel like we haven't seen the last of
Well,
Agnes. some
She
point.
has to, right? Because so she puts her in back to Agnes from Agatha, and I might have called her Agnes a bunch of times throughout this, guys.
Yeah,
Her name's
yeah.
Agatha.
Agatha Harkness.
But they're so similar. We've been calling her that. Anywho, she puts her back as Agnes, and she's like, "What are you doing, neighbor?" Back to her like kooky, ostentatious sitcom self.
Okie
Okie dokie. And so anyway, that happens, and you're like, all right, well, during WandaVision worlds, that makes sense. But then, not to get too far ahead, WandaVision world ends.
Yeah, so she puts a end to the series here. By the way,
what happens after the place comes down, right? Like, does she?
Well, she can still mind control people. She was mind controlling people outside of the hex, even while she was in the hex.
Okay.
So I feel like she could still kind of keep that going, and on autopilot, compared to mind controlling an entire town.
And she's more. Oh, by the way, she got like a even sexier outfit now too.
Oh yeah, so even my girlfriend was like, "I wish they didn't have her fighting in sweatpants. That doesn't look very cool." And like right after she said that, like right after she got all her powers back with the runes,
yeah,
she gets the coolest outfit that Wanda's ever had.
It's very reminiscent too of the Magneto costume from
what I've heard. Yeah.
Apocalypse. I think it was the most recent X-Men movie with Magneto from Michael Fassbender in, and it looked very similar. So again, is that a tie? And so let's get into this too, I guess, while we're on that. It turns out Quicksilver is not Quicksilver from the X-Men. He's Michael Boner.
Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner. He's like, Boner. Boner. And that's when he's keeping Rambo captive in his place. I guess when he found her and he's like, Snooper's gonna snoop, he locked her in there. And you see too, he's so quick, he like just flicks her, knocks her across the room. Which I thought was pretty cool to see, like just some super speed powers.
Like a ting sound when he does that. Ding. It's like ting. So I wonder if like Rambo is made of steel now or something.
He's made of something. Like
gelatin,
gummy bears.
You can face
the yellow gummy bear. She turned into blue gummy bear to get through WandaVision.
You ever watched Mythbusters?
Yes.
I think like they used like material to shoot stuff through, and
that's
what it reminded me of. To like bust myths and stuff. They just cut back in that scene and it's just Jamie and what's the other guy's name? I can't remember the other guy's name, but they're
I know you.
I haven't watched that show in forever. Great show.
Yeah, it's a great show. Recommend that one too.
And they're like, confirmed, if you do go through the force field twice,
you will have powers.
Yeah, the myth has been that bullets would go right through you.
Confirmed. Just cuts to them in the background, and then that's how the show ends. That's how the episode.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
back to Boner though.
Yeah.
We were talking about boners, right? Anyway, so Michael or Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner.
That's an even better name. Ralph Boner. He's like, Boner. And eventually she gets away from Ralph Boney here. She like pins him down. But anyway, though, so he's Ralph Boner in this MCU world. He's not even, I thought he was a crossover from the Quicksilver from.
I know.
From the X-Men, but apparently he's just
total red herring. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was. And it's kind of mean that they did that because
it's very mean.
Again, it kind of felt like how they did with Nick Fury's eye. They were just like, a cat did it. Not someone he trusted, just a cat.
Yeah.
A space cat, but a cat just clawed his eye out.
That's crazy.
So I was a little disappointed with that one. But again, too, he looks like the guy from the X-Men universe. So is the X-Men universe a separate universe? And then in this world, he's not whatever his name is in the X-Men universe. I can't even remember. He
was still in the Hex too.
He's Ralph Boner.
He's still in the Hex.
Maybe it was his character in the
Although
Hex.
he did have a picture of himself, and apparently he's like an actor or something.
That's how she found it, was Ralph Boner.
Yeah. So anyway,
so yeah, I
a little disappointed.
A little disappointed in that because I thought we were gonna get some X-Men crossover. But her costume looks very reminiscent. Is it just because Again, did they just want to lead another red herring for people? Is it just a material that looks cool on her, and it was just coincidence? Maybe
It
someone
does look
who
cool. It's
works
cool
in the
outfit.
same costume department. I don't know. I don't know if that's a trail or not because it seemed like Quicksilver was.
Yeah.
But she looked
She's
good.
never really had her own costume. She just kind of wore that long coat and
Yeah, she just wore a coat and looked sexy in a red coat.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
now she's got a cool outfit.
Cool costume. Yeah. So, she makes a decision that she got to put an end to all this. You know, she's finally come to terms with it, and she's like, "Let's go home." You know, Vision's like, "Let's go home." She's like, "Yeah," and she's like slowly bringing it all in to where it started, which is on that plot of land. And you just see slowly everything gets turned back to normal. Everything getting turned back to normal. Looks
you
shitty
see
again.
the barriers like coming in.
Yeah. Looks horrible again. And it's like slowly coming in, and like she's doing bedtime with the kids one last time. And they don't really get that this is their last time, I don't think.
Mom's gonna kill them. Yeah.
But Vision and her do, you know.
Yeah. And that was heartfelt, man.
Oh.
Tay was like, "Are you tearing up over there?" I was like, "No." Let's shut out the lights.
and then so they have their moment with the kids, and they're watching the wall get closer, and Vision understands everything, and they go downstairs, and
they shut the door too, so you don't see them get like melted away, even though they did. And I thought that was nice that you didn't see them phase away. That was just like a peaceful thing, right?
Yeah. And then Vision and Wanda have their moment.
That was great.
That was amazing.
So well done. So well done.
Oh, amazing.
And he's just like, "Hey, just so the fans understand what I am, could you explain it to them before I die?" And
like,
she was like, "You are the Mind Stone in me."
Right. Oh.
And I thought it was nice.
The person I love, you know.
Like, I think we all kind of assumed that. Yeah, I thought we all kind of assumed that he was the Mind Stone because it was the yellow coming out of her. But it was. I think it was nice though too for the people who, again, if they were devoted
over
fans,
their head or yeah.
But I would have also been fine without that if they would have just had a little moment of like, "I'm gonna miss you" or something like that.
And then Vision coming in with the lines again, man. Oh,
Vision got the lines.
He's like,
no wonder she brought him back.
What did he say? It was something about like, you know, and what did it give you? A memory to be had or something? Or memory had. And
it was a memory you made real, or
a memory you made real or something. Yeah, it's just a really good line about how like she will always remember this. And
man, if I could bring lines like that, man, my girl would, you know, bring me back too. But I don't got those lines. So,
I know. Ain't nobody bring me back when I get clapped. When I get clapped for a twice time for a second time. Twice. When I get clapped for a second time, I'm, you know, ain't nobody bring me.
I'd just be a little gray
Steve
sickle on the ground. You know, I'd just be.
When Thanos clapped Vision, she wasn't thinking about anything but his poetry. Your poetry.
Your great lines.
Your lines. And but Vision, damn.
Your sophisticated insight into the human condition.
Just coming in. And here's my thing. Like, why can't you, like, that plot of land was nothing before. Why can't you just stop it there? Just be like, boom. Gonna have my family here, gonna keep my kids inside so they never leave, and we're just gonna be happy.
Just locked in the house.
Just locked in the house.
That could have been the second season. What's outside this house?
They go insane and they just kill each other.
It just turns into a bloody horror show.
But so she kills her family.
But it was also pretty representative too of her being able to move on then. Like, she's finally acknowledged that she's had all these traumatic things. And instead of just either blocking them out and pretending they don't happen and they're not affecting her, or trying to have a delusion and live through that, she's finally shutting it all down.
She's getting past the trauma, you know?
Yeah. And I was really hoping that the kids were like real physical humans or something. Because I was
like saying to Wanda, like, Wanda, how about this? How about you go out to a freaking 5,000 acre field where there's nothing around, like, for miles, and just boom, make your world there where it's not going to bother anybody.
Literally Antarctica, right? There's nothing up there.
Yeah.
Make it a warm, awesome place for you.
Take some prisoners and that are on death row and like bring them up there.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right?
Wanda, call us up here.
Let's think about this. Plan this out a little bit better.
Let's get the logistics
first time
down.
was, you can execute this a little bit better.
Practice.
But anyway, so she moves on. It's pretty, if it didn't make you cry, then you have no soul.
You have no soul.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Tay.
But no, I'm just kidding. It was pretty emotional. And that was done. Pretty much, yeah. And then it ends with her walking through the town, like
with the hood
real
up,
town,
and they're all looking at her like, "You were just."
And she's got her hood up. Yeah. She's like, I'm just gonna leave, and they're all pissed. And she comes to Monica Rambeau, and Monica's like, "Look, I would do the same thing to bring my mom back. Like if I had your power." She's like, "So don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad." Don't feel bad controlling other people's minds. You had your own personal show to work through here. Yeah. And like everyone overheard this and they're like, I'm moving.
And Wanda flies away.
And that's like the formal end is her inner costume just sort of flying away. And I was kind of like, oh, like that's it. Like I don't know. It just seemed like it was a little like it was going and it kind of ended. I don't know. It felt a little weird. But we get 2 end credit scenes now. And then we see Rambeau gets pulled back by an FBI agent to go talk in a theater, and it's a Skrull.
It's a Skrull, which we kind of freaking knew was coming at some point.
We knew we were getting a Skrull at some point. We were thinking maybe someone else was a Skrull.
Yeah.
But we knew we were getting some Skrulls because of her. And she was like, do you want to be in the sequel? Or your own spinoff? And Rambeau's like, yeah, where is it? And she was like, up there.
She just flies up and it's the Marvel executives. So we're thinking
Kevin Feige up there.
Yeah, we're thinking for the second Captain Marvel movie, you could come in and
and it was cool that she was brought in, but again, she did not feel integral to the plot of this at all.
No, and honestly, I thought she would feel more by the end, and it really didn't. I honestly kind of forgot she was in this episode a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, after she got her superpowers, then she confronted Wanda. Nothing happened, and then she got locked up. We didn't see her in the flashback episode.
Right.
I mean, we didn't see really anyone in that other than the flashback people. But and this one, she just shows up, stops a couple bullets, and that's it. I mean, like she said some nice words to Wanda, but otherwise,
at the end, and
there wasn't really any.
I mean, but leading up to that, she was pretty important.
She was
outside stuff
important. I didn't really care much about her. I think if she would have been in like Captain Marvel or her own series or something like that was set up for this, it would have been more interesting.
I think that kind of she was set up in a disadvantage because especially after she was kicked out of the thing, any scene that was outside of the hex, like I was like, I just want to see what's going on in the hex.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that too?
No.
I was like,
yeah,
I want to see the show. I want to see the cool, trippy stuff that's happening in the show, the deceptive things that are going on.
Yes.
I didn't really want to see Hayward and Wu and everybody and Darcy outside of it. You know what I mean? Although Darcy was a nice touch.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was the first end credit scene, offering her another role.
Another role.
Another show or movie. We'll find out later. Second end credit scene. This is where I totally thought we were going to meet Doctor Strange. I totally thought because that was kind of like what she said at the last scene before she left was like, I need to go figure out these powers that I have now. And so I thought she went to see Doctor Strange, like, but
magic guy.
Magic guy. I have magic. He's a doctor.
Magic. Doctor magic. PhD in sorcery.
But she is like in some remote, beautiful landscape in a cabin. And I was like, damn, she's pulling a Thanos. And we see her like sitting out on her little porch
In her sweat clothes.
in her sweat clothes, and she hears the tea kettle go off, and I was like, all right, she's gone Amish. And she pours herself some tea, and the camera pans back into the bedroom.
And I thought we were going to see White Vision in there just like sitting, just like maybe head off or something, and she was like experimenting on him or something, or just sitting back there just like drinking tea, and it was going to be like a funny scene.
No, but turns out she's just in her room reading a book.
Yeah. So her astral
that's
form
how I
is
read.
there.
By the way, that's how I read books in my room. Yeah. What'd you say? Her what?
I think it's her astral form, kind of like how Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange, you would have the astral projection thingy. But the thing is, though, when Doctor Strange did it, he couldn't control his real body. He was just the form moving around. So
you think it was her astral form?
Maybe,
It
or
was either that. I thought it was either that, or that was her, and she was creating everything that you saw before that, or something.
Maybe,
and that like she was experimenting again with creating false realities or something. I don't know.
No, it could have been that too. I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out someday, years from now.
Probably years from now.
But when it pans to her looking all creepy in her outfit and doing witch stuff with her eyes all weird, and flip the page with my floaty hands and just my twirly hands to flip the page with magic.
Flip the page with my twirly hands.
Where did I leave that recipe for rice pudding? She's just.
I know it's on the left-hand side in a paragraph somewhere.
She looked creepy though. Ooh, she looked creepy.
She looked kind of evil, cool. And she was kind of evil through this. You know, are they setting her up as a villain? I almost wonder.
Her new costume does look kind of evilish.
It looks kind of evilish. I still like her, but I think she's a really good villain. She definitely is. I mean,
well, if it's true, think about this. If it's true what Agatha said about like that's power that can't be controlled, it's untamed power that Wanda has just. I mean, she's just kind of tapped into the full well. Don't you think?
Raw.
Raw.
Never seen a Jedi so raw before with the Force. No, but do you remember from the
yeah.
What's it? The second one with Rian Johnson, the terrible Star Wars movie. But the trailer though, like everyone's saying so raw.
Yeah,
I've never seen someone so raw with the Force, and then Luke's like, I've only seen this raw power once before, and everyone's like, raw.
And there ain't no raw power in Jedi
no raw power. Get
fucking
raw,
maybe Yoda coming down with a lightning bolt, flaming that tree up. Yeah.
But anywho, then we also hear, and this one to me kind of like diminished a scene too. We hear the kids yelling like, "Mom, mom!" And then it ends. And I was just like, well, damn, now we know for sure the kids are going to come back. Like, it kind of like hit that moment away. That was like, her kids are gone, right? Like, these things we liked that she was attached to. A big part of the episode was that she had to give these things up, right? And then all of a sudden, Mama,
I think she's probably trying to figure out how to bring them back in the real world, right? Where it doesn't have to be inside this bubble or something.
Probably, but I wish we didn't see it in this, in the same episode where it was a big character moment for her that she had to give up her kids, right? So I was just kind of like, all right, big deal. Like, they're coming back. Vision's out there too, so like, not really any loss at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm about to fly out to Montana, see if I can find some Wanda in a cabin, see if we can tap into some of this magic.
Yeah, I mean, that was WandaVision. That was the end. I'm hoping that's the only season of it. Generally, I really liked it. Big question,
and not because it was bad, right? Because I think finite things are good.
Yeah,
and I just want this to be like, sometimes it's not good. It's like with Joker right now. Do I really want another Joker movie? I would love to see Joaquin Phoenix play him again, but I don't want it to taint the first one.
Like Taken 2 and Taken 3.
Yeah, Taken 2 and Taken 3. Like,
they're not very good. Yeah, so I'm hoping they don't. It seems like Marvel's on a roll. I'm excited for Falcon Winter Soldier. That looks like it's going to be badass.
Coming up real quick. people coming
action
up real
show.
quick.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. But with this one here, I'm hoping that's the end. I enjoyed it. Big questions though. Some things I thought they set up though was the director definitely seemed like he was going to be someone else, especially with the hexagonal things going on. Was that just like another Easter egg that they wanted to put in?
Probably not. Could
That
be
they
another
didn't
red
want-
herring.
Yeah, I don't know. But who arranges their things in a hexagon in their room? Nobody. Freaks. So I really thought he was going to be someone else. And again, that could just be me reading into it, but why would you do that? Why would you set that up? Also, too, I didn't really like that they, at the very end, obviously she's going to get the kids back.
Yeah.
And
The question,
then-
what's going to happen with White Vision?
White Vision. Well, White Vision is definitely going to have to do some soul searching.
He
I
needs
think-
to find himself.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a pretty interesting story with him to
I hope
get
so.
back to being on the Avengers.
He looks pretty cool. He looks. Is it me or did he look buffer than?
He looked a little more jacked, yeah.
A little bit more jacked than the other.
Definitely
Vision.
looked a little more jacked. And I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was like, why you look a little more slim as regular?
You know, your muscles, your wire muscles should have atrophied for
Yeah.
being dead for 5 years.
Explain that.
Explain that.
Plot hole. Plot hole. No, but and then too, what happens to Agnes then? Is she free then because she's not WandaVision world, or is Wanda able to just control people outside of it as a character though too? I don't know.
Right.
And then too, the Pietro thing, setting up the X-Men thing, but then kind of not with the turning into just Ralph Boner. Those are really my only complaints, kind of questions, leftover thoughts. Otherwise, I liked it, and I think you guys should watch it. And what theories did you hear from us that you thought were pretty close and you were hoping would pan out, or which ones did you think were so bad and and wrong and dumb?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah. Shame us like Wanda shamed Agnes.
Shame.
Otherwise, we hope you guys have enjoyed, and we hope you will like this video and subscribe. We also hope that you'll follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, because we have a lot more fun stuff coming. We're definitely going to cover Falcon and Winter Soldier in some way, shape, or form. Still going to determine how we're going to do that, but definitely some fun stuff coming down the road.
And Alexander Draymond, why don't you come on?
Alexander Draymond. Please come on the Screen Chronicles. We'll talk about whatever you want. You want to talk about WandaVision? We'll talk about WandaVision.
Talk about WandaVision.
Talk about, anything you want.
Anything you want. As long as it's about the Last Kingdom. No. Anywho, though, it's like we always say. It's like we always say.
It's like we always say every time.
Every time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.